God, you're running the video. What's up, guys? Welcome to Emoji Mode, episode 10. I'm really pumped that it's episode 10, and Jason just made fun of me because he said I was going to do the intro like Ed, and I did. So, tonight's all about perspective, buried or planted. That's going to make sense in just a second. I promise. I'll get into it really soon. We got Jen watching. What's up, Jen? Thanks for tuning in. Who else? We got Meredith. Thank you so much for watching. So tonight's all about perspective, how we see things and how that influences how the world is to us and how we interpret other people and situations and things like that. Your perspective changes everything. Your perspective of things is how you look at the world. So if you have a negative perspective, you're going to have a negative world. It's crazy how much your mind actually plays a role in all this stuff. Hey Cheryl, thanks for watching. And as always, guys, I have my number 2 fan. I can't say number 1 fan. My number 2 fan here. So we'll bring Jason in for a second because obviously Ed's my number 1 fan. Number 2. Or you might be number 3 because I feel like Dylan should be in there somewhere.
Yeah. We'll say 4. Just in case.
We'll say number 5 just to round it out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So quote number 1 is, the question is not what you look at, but what you see. Yeah, so that's by Henry Thoreau. So the question is, it's not what you're looking at. Like I could be looking at Jason's camera, but I could be seeing like, oh my God, I'm gonna be on an episode of, like freaking out. So you could look at a situation. So let's say you were looking at an interview for a new job. You're looking about this, like you have it in your mindset, like you're there. You're looking at your interviewer. And instead of looking at him, what you're seeing when you look at your interviewer is like, oh my God, this guy holds my entire life in his hands if I don't get this job. And you go to a negative place, and your perspective of the fact that this other person holds their entire life in their hands freaks you out. And you have a negative influence, and you start to get overwhelmed, you feel anxious and all that stuff. So it's not how you look at it, but it's what you actually see. If that makes sense, let me see some heart buttons. Let me see the heart. Hit it up. Let me see if that makes sense. Because if not, I'll explain a little bit more. Because maybe it didn't. I don't know. Waiting for the hearts. There we go. All right, cool. So it's making sense. So that means I can go to quote number 2. I really like this one because once I read this quote, like this whole video idea like really came into focus for me. So ready? You approached it like it was heavy. So it was. So when you have the perspective that a situation is going to be difficult, is going to be uncomfortable, that you're going to have a hard time with it, you will. There's a quote that we've used in the kickboxing studio a few times. I know Ed's dropped this knowledge, this quote a lot, and it goes, the man who says he can and the man who says he can't are both right. So they both have a perspective of how they can or can't do something. So when you think you have the perspective, you have the vision that you can do something, you can. You're not fighting yourself. When you have the perspective that you can't, it's going to be hard, you're going to be miserable, it's going to be heavy, it's going to be just complicated, that's exactly what it's going to be. So you have to change the way you see the situation, the way you see the other person, the way you see the way you see things. That's your perspective. It's not, your perspective isn't what you're looking at, it's what you're seeing. If that makes sense, let me know. I need more hearts to let me know that this makes sense. Hey Kim, thanks for tuning in. We got Danielle watching, Jamie watching. Thank you guys so much. Mary, what's up? I miss you. Where have you been? I'll message you and we'll figure that out because I miss your face a lot. All right, so I got hearts. All right, so quote number 3. This is where the title is going to make a lot of sense for the video, guys. So number 3 is my all-time favorite quote. I have it written since I found it in my apartment, on my fridge calendar, and I have a dry erase board right by my front door full of positive quotes. So ready? When you're in a dark place, you can think of yourself as buried, or you can think of yourself as planted. How you are actually seeing and looking at your life, you can have a warrior mentality and a warrior perspective, or you can have a victim perspective. You can look at the hard times that are going on and have a perspective of why me, or you can say try me. That's the big thing with that quote. You can be buried, you can be miserable, you can be upset, you can be the victim, you can tell everybody, pity me, poor me, look at me, look at all this tough stuff I'm going through. Why is this happening to me? My perspective is I'm such a good, why, crying, being miserable. Or you can change your perspective of the situation and you can say, okay, there's some tough stuff going on. This means I'm being planted to grow and be stronger and be better, and I'm going to be a better version of myself from this tough time. You don't grow unless you become a little bit uncomfortable. I don't think you guys understand that a lot. We don't want tough times. We all have the mentality that a tough time is a negative thing, and that's not true. Flowers need sunshine and rain to grow. Cheesy, I know, but seriously, you have to have that positive perspective, that warrior mentality that I've been planted. I'm going to look at this situation with a positive perspective and say, this is meant to help me grow. This is meant to change me. I'm going to come out of this better and stronger and change the way you're looking at what's going on. You lose your job. Guess what? Not the end of the world. You'll find another job. So instead of looking at it as like, oh my God, I lost my job, my life is over. Like say you've been in a job for years. You lost your job. The way I've been looking at situations like that, when something is so close to home in a situation like that, that means you served your purpose there. You did what you had it to do, and now it's time to go on and spread your gifts, spread your talent somewhere else where you're needed more. So when exactly, Cheryl, you're in charge of your perspective. So if you tell yourself that the tough time is happening for a reason, and you're being planted and you're not buried, it's going to help you grow and you're going to have such a happier life. All right. Final quote of the night. Quote number 4. Jason, are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right. If we magnified blessings as much as we magnified disappointments, we would all be much happier. And that's by John Wooden. I like that last name, Wooden. But this literally just rolls into what I just said. It rolls into the buried or planted quote. When we put more perspective, more importance on having that negative perspective and looking at all the disappointments and the bad things, then that's all you're going to see. You're only looking at the bad things. Your perspective is you're narrow and you're just seeing those negative and bad things. Guys, look at all the great things that are happening. Your blessings are going to outweigh your disappointments. And I said tonight in class, like at work, your blessing could be as small as, I didn't hit the snooze button 10 times today. Boom. Good day. My kid made the bus today. What else? I might get in trouble for this one, but like, my boyfriend went grocery shopping without me today. Like, I'm so blessed to have somebody like that where we can grow together, and he's helped me create that positive perspective where I see all the positive things and all the great things and all the, like, it changed my view, changed my mind. So when you have that positive perspective that you can do anything and you look at all the great things in your life, every day, guys, count your blessings, count all the great things that happen for you. Because that's going to help to change your perspective. Stop looking for the bad and look for the good. There's more good in every day. Most likely that bad was 5 minutes. Just 5. And that 5 minutes isn't going to matter in 5 years. Change your perspective to change your life, guys. That's all it takes. Change how you actually look at things. Not what you see, but how you look at the situations, how you look at the people, how you look at the environments of what's going on. Look for the positive in every day to change your perspective, to change your life. That's simple. So with perspective, guys, you can be buried or you can be planted. What do you want to be? Let me know. Comment if you want to be buried or if you want to be planted. Let me know that you're ready to change and have a positive perspective and a positive life. And again, guys, feel free to share Emoji Mode episode 10. Super, super grateful that number 1, you're even watching right now. That means the world to me. Number 2, that you're watching after I had a time change, which again, super, super grateful. So thank you guys so much. Seriously appreciate it. I appreciate you too, Jason, for coming in and recording and being my number 3 fan. All right, guys, I'll see you next week for episode 11. Oh my God. All right, bye, guys.